Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Yale Center for British Arts online series, Artists in Conversation. I'm Carmen Hermo. I'm Associate Curator in the Center for Feminist Art at the Brooklyn Museum. And I'm so delighted and honored to be in conversation today with the wonderful Sekai Machache. My thanks are definitely extended, our thanks, I'm sure, to Jane and Linda at the Yale Center for British Art for inviting us, for organizing this Zoom that we're all joining. And I also want to extend a thank you to everybody who is taking the time out of their day, not just to experience Sekai's work, but to be together. We're going to be talking for about 45 minutes and we'll have a chance for Q&A at the end. So make sure you're gathering your questions. And I also want to honor, this is a very difficult time in the world. And so I know we're all bringing lots of emotions and experiences with us today. So I just thank you for coming regardless and being present today. I have some housekeeping notes to get to, so please note the program is being recorded. Your camera and sound are muted. They will remain as such through the program, and we will be using that Q&A function for questions for Sekai at the end of the program. So you can submit your questions at any time throughout our chat, and we'll be able to share them together at the end. And if you would like to use closed captioning, a live transcript is available by clicking the icon in your navigation bar. So I'd also like to extend the land acknowledgement from Yale. Yale University acknowledges that Indigenous people and nations, including Mohegan, Mashantucket Pequot, Eastern Pequot, Shagdakoke, Golden Hill Pequawset, Niantic, and the Quinnipiac and other Algonquin-speaking people have stewarded through generations the lands and waterways of what is now the state of Connecticut. They honor and we honor and respect the enduring relationship that exists between these people and nations and this land. I'm also going to read a short biography, but we'll be able to delve in visually. Sekai Machache is a Zimbabwean-Scottish visual artist and curator based in Glasgow, Scotland. Her work interrogates the notion of self, in which photography plays a crucial role in supporting an exploration of the historical and cultural imaginary. Aspects of her photographic practice are formulated through digital studio-based compositions using body paint and muted lighting to create images that appear to emerge from darkness. Her more recent work incorporates other media and approaches which evoke a sense of the invisible and the undocumented. From 2021 to 2023, Machache was an artist in residence with the Talbot Rice Residence Program, which supports emerging artists across the United Kingdom. She is a founder and a member of the Yon Afro Collective, which supports women of color in Scotland. She was chosen to represent Zimbabwe at the 60th Venice Biennale in April 2024 as part of a group show titled Undone with Zimbabwe's Pavilion, and she lives and works in Scotland. So let's all take a moment to welcome Sekai. Woo! And then I'll jump in to sort of the on-ramp. We just heard, Sekai, about your incredible new work on view at the Venice Biennial until the end of November. If folks are heading that way, do not miss it. And we will take a moment to experience some of the work through video. And if you want to set it up with a few words, we'll return after watching it together to discuss the piece. Thank you, Sekai.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Carmen. And hi to everyone that's on the call today. Yeah, so the work that I'm about to show a little small clip of and a little bit of the behind the scenes is titled Jakiro, which means spirit medium in Shona. It also just means the word spirit in Shona, which is the language that my ancestors and my family speak in Zimbabwe. So I'm just going to play this and then we'll come back and have a little chat about it.
Thank you,
So
Sekai.
yeah, that was some short clips from Jikiro, which was actually set at Mount Stewart, which is a manor house on the Isle of Bute. It's a Victorian build, a historical site in Scotland with a lot of important history. And that was just my response to a commission that they invited me to do a couple of years ago.
Amazing. Yeah, I loved even like the color transitions, let alone like the characters and the energies, but the way it moved from that kind of like warm browns and then the sharp blues, and then towards the end, as seemed like the drama was building and there's sort of tension happening. Things got red and sort of yeah, hotter visually. So what was sort of interesting as we were discussing this is that it's on view in this exhibition that's called Undone. That's the
Yeah.
title of the group show at the Biennale. And yet it's like you're doing so much, right? You're bringing this space forward, you're bringing the history forward, you're obviously collaborating with lots of people. So I was wondering if you could walk us through the making of the piece, and if this concept or how this concept of undone or undoing something relates to the piece.
Yeah, so I actually had been working on Jukiro for about 2.5 years. I initially got the invitation from Mount Stewart to do a commission, and I pitched a film with, I think it was 7 people. At first, it was even bigger than than it ended up being, but it ended up becoming a 40-minute long film with several different chapters and stages with different artists, dancers, singers, people that I invited to respond to the space. And all of the costuming is original, created in collaboration with my friend Fiona Catherine Powell, who's an incredible designer and seamstress. Everyone in the team is absolutely incredible. I'd be here all day going through everybody that was involved. We had a team of 18 people. You see them at the beginning of the sort of BTS reel. All of them are people who I consider close friends and even chosen family. So I have this beautiful bond with the people I've been working with as well. And it was just many visits to an island off the coast of Scotland, which is basically it's called Bute. Um, the island is sort of home to the family called the Crichton Stewarts, who own Mount Stewart, and they have opened the space up as a cultural site and as an arts program as well. So they invite artists every year to respond to the space, and I did the autumn exhibition there in 2023. And then when I was invited to do the Undone exhibition at Venice with the Zimbabwe Pavilion, I just finished making the work. So it felt like it was a really perfect moment to showcase this new work. In terms of the theme of Undone, I feel that what I'm discussing in the work is really the colonial history of Scotland in relationship to the world, particularly in relation to Zimbabwe. Um, there are themes of kind of displacement and the ways in which Black women in our bodies are often misrepresented, or the kind of hypervisibility and simultaneous invisibility of Black women in the archive. And I just sort of was responding to all of those things. And I felt that this notion of undoing is sort of a continual undoing that happens through the process of displacement, through colonialism and through extraction, and through the ways in which our systems have been developed over time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So necessary to reallocate that history, which, you know, as I was taught in Western white worlds, was a good one, and civilization and all. So to literally undo those
Yeah.
hegemonic narratives with the actual experiences and visualizations of, yeah, like you said, the folks who are living it, you know, especially Black women. So I want to jump back in time. We're talking about representation and visibility and thinking about some of your earliest work in photography.
Mhm.
I want you to kind of guide us through how light and shadow, which are how photographs are made, how do they operate as tools in your work, but then also as metaphors?
Yeah. For me, I think that when I first started working with photography, I was a painter, and I wasn't really interested at the time in photography. I was interested in making paintings. So there's this painterly quality to the work that I was making in art school. This is a example of early work that I did in 2012 for my degree show at Duncan of Jordanstone College of Art and Design in Dundee, where I studied. Um, I had this notion that I was going to take these photographs and then turn them into paintings. So they weren't ever supposed to become kind of, I wasn't really supposed to become a photographer, but I just sort of became one because I would take these images and then look at them and think, actually, maybe this is the work, you know? And I was using body paint and muted lighting conditions and sort of like trying to create the sense of something emerging out of the darkness and using sort of chiaroscuric lighting and really like playing with light, but really playing more with darkness and trying to imagine like how I could represent or present my body in ways that would obscure it from the white gaze and kind of give the viewer an opportunity to look upon the body without imposing their gaze upon it. So in the actual exhibition for the degree show, these were printed on dye bond aluminium by White Wall Photo Lab. And it was the first time I ever used them. They're really amazing. I've been working with them for years. And they had an acrylic finish. So they were they had this reflective surface so that when the viewer was looking at the images, they couldn't help but see themselves as well at the same time. So that was kind of refusing the white gaze through that reflective surface. They were part of a series titled Visions of Half Sleep, in the moment of waking, and really related to this hypnagogic state, the state between sleeping and waking, which I reference quite a lot in my work. Even more recent film work that I've made, one titled Hypnagogia Glossolalia, which responds to this state between sleeping and waking, where I write a lot of my poetry and make my work from. Some more images from that series as well. These are titled Eigengrau. And Eigengrau is a German word that means intrinsic light, or the light that we see when we're lying in a dark room, basically. So that was my way of kind of conceptually and also with the photographic medium, I was trying to kind of merge these ideas of light and dark and that sort of space in between.
Yeah, even just visually, the way that the register of the eyes is illuminated, but then also creates this horizon, definitely emphasizing what you're saying, that moment of wakefulness, sleepfulness. Amazing to hear that's like a generative time for you. And I want to keep talking about photography. As you developed and as you continued your work, it really became one aspect or one tool for more multi-part performances for the camera, that we see you combining body painting and objects and symbols start to come to the fore as well. And you've also described this work as more specifically playing a character. So even though self-portraiture is at work, right, and that is you, and we can recognize you here, it's really your embodiment being a tool for the idea of artwork coming to life.
Yeah.
So if you could tell us how you approach these characters. Are they individual in each series or in each image? Are they individuals at all? How much of yourself or your experiences come through? Or how much does it let you sort of move past that?
I feel like the is it a self-portrait or is it not a self-portrait question comes up quite a lot for me, and I feel that sometimes it is a self-portrait. Sometimes there are very definite references to my own experiences in the work, but not very often. The characters that I sort of play or the concepts that I wear in the work are usually related to spiritual concepts, experiences I've had, or particularly in dreams as well. I'm a very active dreamer. My dreams are very vivid, they're very lucid. I'm very aware when I'm sleeping. So I'm not I'm not like a kind of passive dreamer. So when I'm responding to those dreams, I'm kind of not necessarily taking the exact imagery that I see in the dreams, but I'm actually taking the feeling or the essence of what it was that I felt when I was experiencing it. These pieces are titled Invocation. And at the time when I made them, I'd been doing a lot of meditation. And when I meditated, I just remember seeing this image of what I assumed to be a deity because it was just such a bizarre and intense experience. And she turned around and it was like this image of a black woman, very starkly black, and she had her hands up like this and they were red. And I was like, I know who that is. I know what that image is. And then of course I looked into it further and found that it was Kali from the Hindu pantheon. And I thought that was quite an interesting experience to have had. So I started to kind of do more research on her. And I looked into the fact that her image has been misrepresented for many years in like sort of Western uh I guess like in the Western world. And I was looking at the same time at how Black women are often misrepresented as angry, aggressive, the sort of angry Black women trope. And so I thought, well, is it okay for me to wear Callie's image to invoke her in a conversation around this? And I gave myself permission. I don't know if I'm allowed, but I gave myself permission to play this character, but to soften the image and to kind of showcase the vulnerability within myself and within this image of a Black woman, while also wearing ideas and references to Callie at the same time. So one of the things I think is important is that in my research about Callie, she represents time. She's the sort of the energy that's there before everything begins, and she'll be there at the end. And she is this kind of like representation of time, and rather than just being this sort of aggressive, angry spirit that she's often misrepresented as.
Amazing. So interesting too, like the kind of starkness of the image, and thinking about sort of my space in this, a feminist art context, and knowing how many of the kind of second wave white feminists of the 70s really picked up Kali as this, image that, yes, it was like important to uphold a female goddess and what that meant for like, a woman to be worshipped as a deity, but then exactly what you're saying, right? Kind of this oversimplification of the rage, which like I feel like we can all identify with, like needing to express our rage and the like temptations of retribution and revenge. But like you're saying, Kali has always had these dualities. So it's like, yes, it's destruction, but it's also Mother Nature and creation and growth. And I feel like, this image of the blood red hands, you were making this work a long time ago, but that surfaces in so much activist work too. We've seen it recently against like, Anthony Blinken, but then also I think about it in the framework of the missing and murdered Indigenous women's movement, right? Of like having that red hand to say like, something wrong has happened here and there's blood on your hand. So I find that amazing to use that as a cipher for Kali and this creation and that power. And I'm wondering, I love what you said too about the concepts that you wear. That's just like a beautiful way of embodying this. And it's also interesting to think back to what you said too about these actually at first being sort of studies for paintings. And I think we can all probably recognize like this amazing like graphic silhouette you're creating for in this image example, or in the previous ones, the sense of chiaroscuro. But wondering what, in terms of putting these concepts on, taking your dreams and turning them into physical embodiments, like what does that look like in your studio or in your notebook? Or do you take notes from your dreams? Or is it really like a translation of jumping out of bed and starting to work?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because it's a lot of things actually. It's writing. There's a lot of writing going on. Waking up and trying to remember the dream as quickly as possible, get it down on paper or typed on my notes, and then kind of leaving it then, just like not thinking about it for a while, letting it sit, letting it simmer, and then trying to figure out if I can remember as much as I can, like see what detail I can actually take out of it. I often have so many different experiences in my dreams. Like I can taste things, I can hear, I can smell things. I'm like, color is a really, really huge thing as well. I've had dreams where everything's black and white. I've had dreams where things are blue. I've had things where things, so, and red is also really, really important. It's come up a lot in the work. There's another series that I did that is titled Ritual Manifestations. And in that series, it was based on an actual dream I had in 2018 where I was inside this red tent in the middle of like what seemed to be like a desert or space. And the tent was both a space and a person at the same time. So it's this bizarre, only these things can only happen in dreams where you're kind of inside of, but also in commune with. And then I considered the person that I was speaking to be like an ancestor, some sort of ancestral spirit. And she gave me this message. And I remember the message very clearly, but I also remember the redness of the tent and the fabric. And so when I made the work, I wanted to create this sort of other version of her that is wearing the fabric. So she becomes the oracle in ritual manifestations. And the previous image, which is titled The Silent Gifting, is another sort of entity or ancestor who is handing me the fabric that then is worn in the oracle. And so it kind of becomes this like revolving, rotational kind of circular process. The dream, the writing of the dream, the making of the work, even just the finding of the objects, like finding these objects based on what I've seen or what seems to work well in that particular project. And then also this is one of the series where I'm not actually present in the work. I have models that I'm working with and I take the images myself and I get to just be behind the camera and able to kind of see more of what it is that I'm doing, which I really feel is important because wearing the concept and being the main focal subject in the work can also be quite limiting because you're kind of you're trying to do too many things at once. And I kind of enjoyed being able to just direct people and find the objects and bring them into the space.
So evocative, yeah, and important to like feel like that difference of how you're imaging yourself as the character, but then also how it's more a collaborator
Yeah.
becoming part of that, like the visitation. And
Mhm.
love to also think about the fact that you also give it time, right? And try to remember,
Yeah.
remember, like so much of your work is about history. And so,
Mhm.
you know, memory and history are often very different. And depending on who writes what. So to know that you're taking note of your dreams, spending time with them and returning to that.
Yeah.
Um, I know we were talking about some of your more performative works, right? Like there is performance and there's the
Yeah.
body in the photographs we're seeing, but interested to talk about how they transform over time, right? Moving through this notion of Kali herself as time,
Mhm.
and what reperformance means to you. If you can walk us through braiding across a room, this
Mhm.
piece, how it first started in your
Mhm.
studio, its
Okay.
impetus, what the
Yeah.
gesture meant for you, and then take us through how it developed and how it expanded into, I don't want to spoil it for the viewer.
Yeah.
So just from there.
Of course, I'll talk through it first as Breeding Across a Room because what's interesting about the project is that it is really a time-based piece because I spent a year of my life during my master's degree braiding across a room. I would braid across the studio space from I would create a braiding station and then sort of tie the hair to the station and then I would braid and walk backwards. And I was sort of marking time and distance at the same time. And the funny thing is that I had this ridiculous ambition to braid the distance from Harare to Glasgow. I did not manage that. But I did have a lot of braids. A lot of synthetic hair was used. A lot of time was spent doing this. And I would braid across the room in my studio. And then I had another braiding station at home and I would braid across the room in that space as well. And then in my degree show, I braided across, I think it was 10 meters of braid. And then a couple of years later, it was 2018. So it was like 3 years later, I developed it further into braiding across a pool. And this time incorporating a red braid and braiding from one length of a 22-meter long pool to the other. So you can see some more images of that. And this was done partially before the audience arrived and then partially live as well. So it became a live durational performance. Accompanied by a series titled Misoro, which I created in response to grief. Red is a really important color in my practice. It's responding to quite a few different ideas. First of all, deities like Kali, like Eshu, Elegua, like Hecate, and also the root chakra, foundational energy, that idea of like creating and maintaining stability in life. And then also red is the color of mourning in Shona. So it's what is often worn in ritual practice in relation to death and rebirth. So that's why Masoro has a red braid. And Masoro means head or obscure covering of the head. So that's why that's the title. And you see here, I've braided the braid all the way to the top of the pool, and I'm tying it to the end. And then you see it sort of exhibited with the Masoro images on either side.
So beautiful. And yeah, to think about like that, of it using the hair as a veil, and your work, of course, always concerned with the spiritual and with the powers that are beyond what us mere humans might have the capacity to know or see. And I think there's something very powerful about recognizing the possibilities of different associations, right? Like you mentioned Elegua, and folks who know the pantheon of the Yoruba and the color system, like don't need to be asking questions about what the red and black means. Like they can associate that and see that there, and to know it also has its parallels and its references to your own ritual practices. But when you think about that like gesture of the braid, right, and taking three things and combining it, bringing disparate elements together, creating something stronger, almost, and certainly like beautiful, right? Was this also a process while you were doing this? Because there was an audience there too, right? Like we're seeing the installation images, but people were watching you.
Yeah.
What was that kind of feeling for you like? And especially knowing that there is this important spiritual dimension to what you're making.
I remember one of the things that kind of became quite clear when I was doing the braid was it couldn't touch the ground. There was something really important about it not touching the ground. So you can see in these images here that there are other women who come into the pool and they hold the braid and make sure that it stays elevated and remains elevated, so that by the time it's at the end and it's actually installed, it's never touched the ground once. And I thought that was really important. You can sort of see some stray pieces of red hair that have been left as traces that were also left there. And we also had a very short clip of sound of Don't Touch My Hair by Solange. So it would just say don't touch my hair, and then there was like some static, and then it would repeat. And that was kept on for the entire time of the exhibition. So it was just this repetitive, meditative sound of that song. And interestingly, there was this question of, are people going to touch the braids, even though we're being told very clearly not to touch the hair? And of course it happened. And there were like a lot of conversations about that, like all the kind of experiences of Black women saying don't touch my hair, to the point that Solange Knowles felt that she needed to make a whole song about it, and then me incorporating that song in a repetitive loop in the space still didn't stop people from feeling comfortable to do that. I mean, it was fine when it was children and so on, but like when it was adults who felt that urge to ignore the request, it felt kind of quite frustrating. But then in another way, it spoke to what it is that we experience. It's not it would have been strange if they didn't.
I was sort of on the edge of my seat. I was like, wow, did people really not touch it? But exactly what you're saying, right? Like
Yeah.
many people, primarily white people I know, like feel that entitlement, right? You use the word urge, but I feel like it's that entitlement of like, I belong here. This is for me. Everything's for me. And
Yeah.
I can take that, like it would be, I feel like it would be hard to imagine like somebody going up to Marina Abramovic and messing
Mhm.
with what she's going on, unless that's part of the invitation.
Yeah.
But I love the sense that you built in that protection for the object itself, right? That the women weren't necessarily like leaving it alongside of you, but were there to hold it up, to hold up what you were doing, to make it visible, to make it collaborative. And
Mhm.
so I know we want to spend some time talking about your curatorial projects, but maybe this
Mhm.
idea of collaboration is a good bridge too. I'm wondering, when you incorporate other people like in this way, or as you were saying, as subjects in your photography, what does that look like in your studio or in the way you work, and how is it experienced by the viewer? Like, of course, for Braiding Across a Pool was very visual and very, symbolic, this idea of support and upholding. But what does that collaborative process usually feel like in your work?
I think for me that the collaborative process in the work, it came out of necessity because I was very isolated and I didn't have like a lot of experience of having like Black friends and people around me who had similar experiences to me. So in 2017, when I joined John Afro Collective, it was kind of this opportunity to meet other people who were Black women, Black non-binary people who had experiences that were similar to mine and who I could bond with and create these very strong um relationships with that then turned into working relationships and collaborations, and also now at the point where we're just family. We consider each other chosen family, and we are very many of us are very close. And everyone has their own incredible talents to bring to the table. So it's like very easy to like, who do you need to do some choreography? Okay, Melly, who do you need to do who does hair? You know, like everyone does something and is involved in such an incredible way. Um, Curatorially, I was really interested in um bringing people together, working collaboratively in like small and large groups, and also the idea of demystifying the process of making art so that it can be accessible to as many people as possible. I felt that so many institutions, like arts institutions, had these kind of gatekeeping practices and limitations on who could kind of access hold on, sorry, I'm just going to click OK. Sorry. And on who could access the spaces, and what they could do in those spaces as well. So, for example, Transmission Gallery were during the time then when we were sort of first developing Uganda Afro Collective, this gallery, which was a artist-run gallery, they had decided to make their committee a people of color committee. So at the time there was like kind of lots of backlash and difficult conversations happening, but we decided to sort of support and have our meetings, our Yon Afro meetings would happen there, and we decided to make this space feel like home. So there was an exhibition which was called In Loving Resistance, where multiple collectives and organizations that were serving and supporting people of color in Scotland came together and did a whole bunch of different projects. And my curatorial sort of support towards that project was a braiding station where everyone just braided each other's hair and spent time there. We were just eating and laughing and having a great time. To go back a little bit as well, there was a time when we created like zines, and we had a book library, and there was just a lot of opportunities for us to gather together. I then sort of started to think more about how I wanted to support other artists in my curatorial practice. And I thought about it as like more about access than anything else. So my friend Adibusola Ramsey, who you saw helping me braid the braid, is an incredible artist with over 20 years of experience, but she never went to art school. She's a fully self-taught painter and printmaker. And she was just really inspiring to me. I would go to her house and I'd be like, why are you not showing these paintings? Like, they're incredible. And she was part of the group show with me for the show that I did, the Braiding Across the Pool piece. But then I thought, you know, if I'm going to curate, I've been invited by Generational Projects to curate a show for a group of Black artists in Dundee. And I thought, you know, I'm gonna curate a show for one artist. I'm gonna do a solo exhibition for her. And doing a solo exhibition, it's like you kind of have to have paid your dues in a way. You have to have like gone to art school and know curators and have a foot in the door and all this stuff. And I just thought, forget all of that, remove all of those obstacles, all of those hierarchical kind of like limitations, and let this person who has lots of experience, incredibly talented artist, do an exhibition in the space. And also we decided to have two spaces. So one was where she showed the work, the paintings, she hoisted 30 meters of fabric into the ceiling. We put bean bags on the floor so people could lie down and enjoy the work. And also we had another space adjacent to it where she was doing printmaking, and people could come and meet her while she painted as well. So it just offered so much scope and opportunity for the audience to just enjoy the work, but also to learn about the process of making the work, and for her to be able to share her practice with people, which was really a beautiful thing.
Amazing. And of course, like artist curator and artist working together, like programming process and collaboration again coming to the fore. Like those are definitely not the things that come up in most retrospectives or solo shows, right? Where you get the finished product and you get the dramatic rise to the great work. But to actually kind of call like all of these different emblems and materials into one space. I love that you flipped the group show on its head. We were
Yeah.
talking so much earlier about like context and, you know, building a context. And I see some great questions in the chat already. So we'll get to that in a few minutes, but I did want us to conclude with a deep dive into a more recent work as well.
I'll just really briefly say that I did a group show after that, which had multiple artists involved. And I'm glad that I did it that way, where I had the solo show for Brisola and then did the group show after, because it was just a completely different way of working, but it was beautiful to put all the work in a space together. But anyway, I'm gonna go to Divine Sky because it's a lot.
Get to Divine Sky. It's such an amazing piece, so layered, right? We're talking about a work that, as you'll see, from the colors references, the use of indigo, narratives of isolation and conservation and connection. It's performative, it's tactile, there's so much going on. So please walk us through the Divine Sky, and also maybe weave in how the role of nature and the earth comes into this work in particular.
Amazing, thank you. So the Divine Sky is a project that I worked on during lockdown, and I really utilized all that extra time that was spent usually just staring into space to make something quite elaborate. So I say that utilizes allegory and performance to tell a complicated history through immersive storytelling and photography. And it's made up of 12 titles, which are based on the 12 stages of the indigo dyeing process, based on the ancient Malian practice of indigo dyeing, where you would take a white cloth and you would dip it into an indigo vat once, and you would create blue of nothingness. Then you'd go for your second dip and it would be a hint of blue. And you keep on dipping until you get to the darkest shades, which are called the Divine Sky, where you have light divine sky, deep divine sky, profound divine sky. And these are the actual names that were given to these to these stages. I found it through an artist called Abubakar Fanana, who's very, like, he's an indigo dye master. So I was really inspired by his work, and I was really looking at trying to follow the money in the colonial era to understand better what was actually happening. So I was looking at the commodities that were being bought and sold in places like Scotland and in America and all the other parts of the world through the sort of colonial era. And indigo became quite an interesting one for me because it had so many different, it was used in so many different cultures in so many different parts of the world, and had so many different uses. Like, it was used for healing, it was used for obviously for dyeing fabric. There was so many different practices, batik, and all of these different things. And I started to learn all of these over time. So I started with drawings, these ink drawings using blue, and then working from there into fabric pieces where I was painting directly on fabric with indigo, and also creating batik pieces with beeswax relief. After that, I started to work on photographic pieces where I incorporated the drawings and the fabric that I'd painted as the backdrop. I'd initially had this idea of going out into landscape and having a sort of relationship to nature in response to this work. But we were trapped in the house for 2 years, so I couldn't get out to the Highlands where I decided to do the work. So I created this backdrop as a kind of like stand-in for the landscape. Again, for another year, I was trapped in the house, so I decided to utilize that space, and I decided to work with still life, and created a series titled A Hint of Blue. And A Hint of Blue is comprised of a still life setup and also a performance to camera, which is related to a ritual and also inscribing meaning related to the Orisha Yamanya, thinking about water, thinking about conservation, and thinking about how the land and water are kind of like managed all around the world in different ways, or mismanaged rather. And then I thought about dyeing as well, like dyes and the way that they're often contribute to to the sort of environmental issues that we have, and how dyeing with natural dyes like indigo is actually a good way to go, and to kind of like try to avoid using more harsh chemicals. And then there was also a relationship between the they're called blue willow china and indigo as well. So during the same era, there was a lot of appropriation of this Chinese practice of blue willow china using cobalt. And so I just incorporated these two things, because you could go onto eBay and buy like a job lot of pieces of blue willow china from all around the world. But it was this beautiful, incredible, intricate practice from China, and then it just got turned into this kind of appropriated way of making ceramics. So I was kind of commenting on a lot of different things at once with this work. Yeah.
So layered. I mean, like you said, it's a still life, right? Like even some of the kind of still lives that we might walk past, you know, in museum galleries and collections that read to our eyes today as like, okay, just a bunch of fruits on a table.
Yeah.
You know, art historians, artists have uplifted the realities that they also were emblems of colonial power, and where the patron who commissioned the painting could get his fruit from, and what that meant for global trade and control. And I love that you're bringing this kind of tradition of still life into what you're talking about, right? Like extraction. How can we be more responsible about the way we create, you know, beauty around us, right? And I love those images you shared of almost the embrace of your painting, like again, process coming through, right? Like to see you in the work layered with the works you created. And of course, I think we can all remember those days of lockdown and recognizing that, like you're saying, you were literally like, couldn't be outside. So bringing nature to yourself, and bringing it into the fold, while also, you know, tapping into these historical spiritual powers too of Yamaya and her continuation, and what that could look like in objects. So yeah, this has been amazing, Sekai. Much more to discuss. I see we have some good questions in the chat, so keep them coming. There's a couple that might be related, so let's see. I will begin with the first question that came through, which is, what made you want to become an artist?
Oh, that's a good one. Do you know, I was a writer as a child and a musician as a child. So I was like, I was playing piano and I was playing guitar and drums, and I was writing poetry. And yeah, I didn't get out much, didn't do much else but sit in my room and think. And I remember my dad was really interested in music. He was really interested in my writing, and he was very like strict and wanted me to like become a writer, and like he kept on making me write essays and stories, and it was quite intense. So I remember one day just being like, he doesn't know much about art though. So it was my
That's
way of getting
amazing.
around my dad. I just started drawing, and he had no like background in art. So it just became my creative outlet that was completely separate to the things that were kind of being kind of pushed for me to like become a writer, become a musician. And I was like, well, what if I like just do something for fun? And then of course I became an artist. So
Wow, that's an
my
amazing.
dad won in the end.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he's very proud, creative
Yeah.
culture, contributing to it all. But that's actually, I love the image of like, how old were you when we were talking about all these? Because you mentioned musician. I was like, okay, maybe she's good at the violin. And then you gave us a whole list of the instruments.
I started piano at 4.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
Yeah.
truly like little Sakai prodigy, and then moving through into this new medium and escaping those parental
Mhm.
hangups, and
Yeah.
and getting into something beautiful that, you know, also incorporates that, right? Like your
Yeah.
collaborations with dancers and the music that came through in the video you shared initially, like
Mm.
amazing to see it all woven together.
Yeah.
um yeah, I see also that there's a question, maybe this is a good bridge too. Who are the artists, either historical or contemporary, who you most admire, who have influenced your practice? And I'm curious too, knowing that you started,
Mhm.
your work in culture at such a young age, like
Yeah.
was there a shift between like your youth and then art school? Like you were talking about your getting your degrees.
I was really lucky that in school, like in high school, I had an incredible teacher, Mr. Smith, and he was just really interested in kind of like different forms of art. Like he gave us this assignment, and I remember it vividly. It was the 30 drawings project. He just said, take an object and represent it in 30 different ways and try to use as many different mediums as possible. And I think that's what kind of got me into this idea of like I can make art out of anything, and I can, work in different mediums. And that's developed all the way to now, where the Divine Sky is me trying to make work in every different medium for one project. So it has drawing, textiles, performance, film, photography. I'm working in sculpture next for this same project. But that's something that I felt like is really great to be able to do. And yeah, to sort of like go back to this idea of like working with other people in collaboration. There's been so many opportunities for me to like work with people who do so many different things, like, and so the musicality came back through, not from myself but working with other musicians and inviting them to do what they do best, because I'm not a musician anymore. I couldn't consider myself one, but I still have such a rich relationship to music. And when I make projects, I also create like a Spotify playlist. So there's a Divine Sky playlist that I listened to like for 3 or 4 years, and that has kind of given the feeling and the vibe of what that project is about. I'm going to keep going through the images a little bit, like while we're going through the questions, because there's some aspects of it that I feel are really resonant, and they kind of come through from this project into the Jikiro project as well.
Definitely. I must ask, are the Spotify playlists public? Are they kind of part of
I can make it
access?
public.
It's a
It's
what a
very eclectic, let's just
right.
say that.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure it's like the music needs to be about focus, it needs to be about inspiration. So it must
Mm,
be amazing to just kind of like track the emotional experience of creating a work, in a
yeah.
playlist. I love that.
Mm.
We have a couple more questions that have come through. So there's a great question about your experiences showing your work, in the African context, right? Of course, you are representing Zimbabwe at the Venice Biennial, which is its own circus of nationalism and jingoism, if you ask me. And I feel like maybe you could talk to us about what the reception has been there. And, obviously, you started with this very, colonial building in Scotland and this kind of that narrative, but how has that been received, from your experiences working throughout, showing in Zimbabwe, but also other places in Africa as well?
I've been really fortunate in the last couple of years to show on the African continent. I showed my film Hypnagogia Glossolalia at Zeitz-Mocha. It's currently showing there in Cape Town for a
Oh,
year in a group show called Seers, Seekers, and Soothsayers, which is a group show with lens-based artists from across the continent. And I love those opportunities because you get to meet all these incredible artists, you get to meet the curators and the people who make these spaces like just come alive. And I just had such an incredible experience being in Cape Town. I got to spend time at home in Zimbabwe. I had a show there, also at the National Gallery of Zimbabwe. And that's what opened up the opportunity for me to show my work at the Venice Biennale, because the curator, Fadzai Mchema, saw my work. I think she said she came to Scotland to visit her sister or cousin, and she saw my work in like 2016. Just randomly, like someone just showed her it at a museum and said, I wasn't showing in an exhibition. They were thinking about an acquisition or something, and they just showed her and said, "What do you think?" And she's been following my practice since then. So you never know when your name has been spoken in rooms that you've never been in. So I've been quite fortunate in that way. to show my work internationally. And I love to show my work in the African context because I'm an African diasporic artist and I've spent my whole life in Scotland. So it's nice to be able to show my work in Africa as well.
Yeah, that is amazing. I mean, it's always such an interesting like narrative between like you're saying the diaspora connection, you're going home to your family in Zimbabwe, and then what does it mean to like represent a nation on this like presumably global stage of the Venice Biennial?
Yeah.
I've only been twice myself, and so when I think back to like my first experience, like of course I knew, like I did my research, but then when you actually get to this space, for those who haven't been, it's like there are literal like pavilions, so structures that nations have like their state governments have funded the construction. Some of them, go back the long history. I think it's, I don't know, isn't it like 150 years of the biennial history? Or no, it's the 60th. Okay, so
Yeah, 60th, yeah.
okay, so that times two. Again, I'm not a math person, but so and so you actually are sometimes faced with like the literal structures of nationhood, and being based in Venice, I think the earliest years were these European nations sort of staking their claims as cultural centers and reaffirming, and you can track this really interesting history of basically like the governmental ethos of the time. Even when you see the architecture itself, like some are very brutalist, some reach into this kind of like Greco-Roman classicism, and then you have in recent decades, quote unquote, the global south, some people call it that, or you call it the global majority, or marginalized artists, many different ways of conceptualizing like who was excluded from that. So it's also amazing to know like the generative experience you've had showing in Zimbabwe, right? And not having to have that sort of like relationship between you representing a nation, because you do, but you also represent yourself and you represent your dreams and you represent your ancestors. So amazing to kind of hear about that experience too. We also have a question about advice, advice for an aspiring artist. And I really liked how your narrative grounded us in the work that you did for your degree, right? I think maybe falsely, in my opinion, I feel like artists like to sort of, like we were talking about professional artists who've gone to art school, like have that as kind of like, okay, that was a test and everything real came after that. But it's such a continuum, and especially again, working in the feminist space, that's often the time when artists who are marginalized have access to studios and have access to printing studios and have access to the technologies that maybe as they go on might not. So do you have advice for maybe that swing between being an aspiring artist and then working through it as a career, as a calling?
Yeah, I think that's why I keep those images in the presentation. If I'm going to speak to people who are still in the process of becoming, and they're developing their practice and they're trying to find their context and they're trying to figure out what it is that they want to say with their work and how they want to like what medium they want to work in and all of those kind of things. I'm really all about the demystifying and like just refusing this like these roadblocks, these obstacles, these limitations. I'm just not interested in that. I think access is really important. And so in my work, I want to kind of like present many different versions of myself, many different aspects of how I would like to work, how I would like to um how I would like my vision to be expressed, because it constantly shifts and changes and grows, and as we do as people. And then also like working with other people, inviting other people into spaces with me and inviting other people into understanding my practice is really great as well. And I just think that, yeah, like because I work in so many different mediums, I don't feel any limitations. So I think my advice is just don't limit yourself, like work in any way that makes sense to you, and try not to kind of force yourself into a box or like a narrow corner. There's so much scope for what you can do if you just kind of open it up and try new things and try different things.
Amazing. Yes. And even to remember that you said like, you went to school as a painter, and then
Yeah.
I have created this incredible body of work, so multimedia, and ending us on the divine sky where you're literally painting, with indigo, with history itself. So
Yeah.
amazing full circle moment. Thanks for sharing advice too.
Of
So I see
course.
that we're just about at one.
Mhm.
Um, if anyone has the last minute easy question. If not, I thank the people who submitted their questions. They were very excellent and provocative for us to conclude. We're seeing
Yeah.
congratulations and thank you. So we'll end there with a big thank you to Sekai for sharing her brilliant work, for walking us through so many of these wonderful projects. So, you know, keep your eye on Sekai's work. If you're going to Venice, don't miss it at the pavilion. And thank you to everybody for joining. And again, another thank you to the Yale Center for British Art for inviting us, for creating this opportunity to be together today.
Thank you so much. Honestly, it's been great speaking to you, Carmen. And thank you, Linda and Jane, and to our captioner as well. Thank you very much for being here. And everyone that has listened in, thank you for coming and asking beautiful questions as well.